to Mutton Chop Gaming. I'm the Mutton Chop Gamer, and are we really doing this right now? I mean, have we really gone this far? Alright, Plants vs. Zombies. I think one of the major reasons that this game brought people in was because of the title. It has the same appeal as Cowboys vs. Aliens. Basically what I mean by that is that any marketer would have you sanctioned to an asylum if you suggested that name for a game, because no one would ever expect that thing to be good at all. But the title was just so weird that it brought people in. And so, with that said, let's take a look at Plants vs. Zombies.
Zombies have risen up from their graves across the street, and now they are approaching your house to eat your brains. What do you use to defend yourself? Well, the title of the game should be a clue. You don't use guns or baseball bats or chainsaws. You plant lethal flora to kill the zombified fauna. Along the way, you will meet your next-door neighbor, Jack Patillo, who has gone insane and started calling himself Crazy Dave. He'll tell you more fun ways of killing zombies, and he'll sell you stuff that you need to survive. Wait, why does he sell you stuff? This is the zombie apocalypse, and he's selling you goods for money? Not even trading for other useful stuff? Yes, he'll give you some stuff to help you out, but why don't you two work together to take all the zombies down? Anyhow, the fight to protect your house and your brains will go on day and night. From the front to the back and to the roof! And the zombies aren't completely stupid, as they are working with a mastermind, and they have strategies to have a salad as an appetizer before the main course. That is your frontal lobe. The narrative isn't very deep, but considering the title of the game, it works for what it is. I mean, I'm sure they could have written a grand epic tale about how a chemical spill mutated seeds and brought zombies back from the grave. But honestly, it would have conflicted with the style of gameplay, and so I'm personally fine with the narrative as is. Let's move on to the aesthetics, because they're pretty good. The color palette is amazing, and all the designs for the plants and the zombies were done incredibly well. In terms of just the plants and the zombies, there are a total of 74 different designs, and they're all decently animated. I also can't confuse one plant or a zombie with another, even those that are roughly just a slight variation of another plant. Aside from those, there are a bunch of different backgrounds, and they're enjoyable to look at. However, you wouldn't pay attention to them very much, though, seeing as you're trying to pay attention to the action, although they do make the game more complete. Although the game does look a bit pixelated. I'm guessing because the sprites were raster images instead of vector images, and I shouldn't expect too much from a casual game, but for the Game of the Year edition on Steam, that's no excuse. There's not even an option to change the resolution, and I wouldn't hold out for a patch considering that EA is pretty much the owner of the franchise now. And EA's relationship with Steam is like the relationship between Phil Fish and anger management classes. Oh, and speaking of resolution, why isn't this game in widescreen? Oh, the iPhone version of the game is widescreen. Okay, that's fine, but why isn't the PC version in widescreen? Why is there an option? This is the Game of the Year edition, like I said before. There should be an option for full screen and widescreen. Moving on to happier things, the sounds are pretty good. While the music might grate on you from hearing it over and over, it is well crafted. The sound effects are also really good, from zombie grunts to peas hitting them in the face. But let's move right along to the gameplay. It's a tower defense game. To make a plant, you need to use solar power. You get solar power from either the sun or from certain plants, such as sunflowers. The plants you make vary in their effects. Shooting, burning, freezing, stopping, blocking, magnetizing, glowing, chomping, drowning, exploding, hypnotizing, catapulting, and bubbling! Zombies are also varied in their effects. Some have armor, others summon more zombies, some float over your lawn, some dig under your lawn, and some drive onto your lawn. And you have to decide exactly how to get these zombies off your lawn, which usually results in them dying. You need to strategize everything, taking your solar power production and seed recharge into account. Oh, and take my advice, make 2 columns of sunflowers in the back. Yes, they may be stressful early on, but having a good stream of solar power with huge waves of zombies coming at you is a very good thing. At night, you'll be wanting to use the mushrooms. Yes, their effects are limited, but they are slightly cheaper, and considering you don't get a lot of sun at night, you're going to want to use them. Speaking of limitations, the backyard and roof levels also force you to use your plants differently. You want a pool in your backyard and waterborne zombies will swim towards your house. You need to use water-based plants to protect those lanes. On the roof, the tiles are angled, resulting in a lot of your straight shooters being useless. You'll need to rely on catapults. Every 5 levels or so in the adventure mode are broken up by minigames, such as vase smashing and being given your plants on a conveyor instead of relying on solar power. They break up the gameplay nicely, considering that you won't want to play for more than a couple levels at a time. See, the game is pretty repetitive, and so you won't want to play for hours on end. It's great for the releases on mobile platforms like phones or the 3DS, but console and PC players won't exactly want to keep at it for extended periods of time. Going back to those mini-games though, there's a puzzle section which I personally found rather fun. Especially the games where your goal was to help zombies break through the plants by strategizing where to start shambling. I like having to think the other way around, and it gets a big thumbs up from me. Something that I don't like though is the use of money. See, later in the game, zombies start dropping money, and you get a bonus for having extra sun at the end of a level. You spend this money at Crazy Dave's shop, but almost everything is way overpriced. And the best way to just grind money doesn't happen until much later in the game. That's not to say you'll feel overwhelmed, however. The game feels difficult at the start of every level because you need to get everything set up again, but it never feels like you're in any real danger. I only had zombies get to my house once, and the lawnmowers in the back killed everything in that row. Yeah, you have lawnmowers all over your lawn that act as traps in case the zombies get too far. Plus, you can buy pool cleaners and roof cleaners at Crazy Dave's shop for what seems like to be the only fair price in the game. But my point is that there appears to be challenge, but there really isn't. Yes, it will probably be difficult for people inexperienced with games, but the stress they bring on you is nothing to worry about.
You know what? This game was pretty good, but I'm not gonna go higher than a B. Yes, this game was probably made with casuals in mind, but the serious players do need to be considered when making any sort of game. See, it's good to play off and on, and that's probably how they thought it should be played, but it's still just so tedious for people that play games in longer chunks of time. Alright, that's it, and I'll see you guys next week.